I'm gonna take you on a little stroll down nightmare lane. This is a story about a young affiliate owner who was just smart enough to be dangerous to himself. You see, in 2017, I was feeling pretty smart. We were experiencing what most would consider decent success, strong profit margins. I was paying myself well. We had good retention and steady growth. And who wouldn't want that? Well, apparently I didn't, because I decided that being too far out in front of your skis was the most optimal place to put myself as a business.
A lot of speed in that track. Look out! Look at him go!
Like, you know what's better than doing Diane in under 5 minutes? Going straight to King Kong. Because why not? What's the worst that could happen? For you young kids out there, you're probably Googling that workout, and for you OGs, you probably just made this face. You see, I knew a few things about business, but only about 5% of what I know now. So here's the series of things that I decided to do. I decided to buy another affiliate, open another boutique gym and tried some boot camp style training, opened up another gym in a sportsplex to get into sports specific training. Oh, and I bought a cryotherapy machine. Yeah, if you're thinking that that sounds like the stupidest series of decisions a single human being can make, whoa, you'd be right. And in an act of pure statistical genius, I failed at 100% of those endeavors. And not because those ideas were bad. You see, any one of those ideas by themselves would be great. The problem was I was too young and stupid to analyze risk appropriately. I lost more than $100,000 and ended up in a 3-year lawsuit with a landlord. I had a decade-old business with a 5-year-old and a newborn and was staring at complete annihilation of everything that I had built. All because I wasn't smart enough to look around and see if there was anything that might help me avoid making overly risky decisions. Or better yet, something that would direct my focus, help me avoid what is the equivalent of dropping 400 pounds on your foot.
Oh, son of a bitch.
If only there were things like books. Yeah, you'd think maybe there was someone out there who had already thought about this and maybe created something to help business owners avoid being idiots. Luckily, there is. So let me introduce you to Ansoff's Matrix, sometimes referred to as the product market expansion grid. In 1957, Igor Ansoff wrote an article in the Harvard Business Review entitled Strategies for Diversification. It's a simple 2x2 grid that outlines risk assessment for moving into new markets or new products. Why is this important to you as a box owner? See, there are levels to everything, and for every macro scenario, there is a micro scenario. So I'm gonna walk you through the affiliate owner's Ansoff's Matrix. First, let's talk about the different axes. On the x-axis, which is the horizontal axis, you have products. The left quadrant is the existing products and services, and the right quadrant is new products and services. For affiliate owners, this would be our service. Now, on the y-axis, which is the vertical axis, we have markets. The bottom quadrant is existing markets, and the top quadrant is new markets. These are our customers. So we have service on the x-axis, and we have markets on the y-axis. Now let's label the quadrants so we know what we're looking at. Typically, you will number quadrants in a counterclockwise direction, starting at the top right corner and going 1, 2, 3, 4. In quadrant 1, we have diversification or research and development, R&D. In quadrant 2, we have market development, or you can think new customers. Quadrant 3, we have market penetration. This is you. In quadrant 4, we have product development, or you can think new services and products. So the question most businesses are faced with is, which direction should you move? Let's start with this first. Very few businesses should be in quadrant 1. This is almost entirely reserved for uber mature businesses that can afford to lose money, or high risk, high return businesses like pharmaceuticals and tech companies. So avoid that quadrant at all costs, because that isn't you. That was me in 2017. I just leaped into the wasteland of quadrant 1 and suffered like Kara Saunders doing Murph in the 2015 CrossFit Games. Every business starts in quadrant 3, and at some point is faced with a choice between moving to quadrant 2 to find new customers, or to quadrant 4 to find new products or services. If you want a simple version of this, going to quadrant 2 means more wallets, and going to quadrant 4 means bigger wallets. So now that you understand the matrix, let's put this into the context of a CrossFit affiliate. You sit here in quadrant 3, so let's simulate moving to quadrant 4. Quadrant 4, product and service development. This would be filled with specialty items like nutrition programs, personal training, specialized programming, and competitors tracks, and other services that are going to require specific skills, more systems, and more processes to service your existing market. Think of these as spin-offs that are a different version of your core offering, but still fall within your target audience. Let's move from quadrant 3 to quadrant 2, new markets. This will be filled with new or specialty demographics like youth classes, master's classes, rehab or physical therapy, corporate wellness programs, and other pools of people that are outside your ideal target audience or your ITA. Think of these customers as demographics with unique needs. Let's go back to quadrant 1, which is diversification. This is where I went to light myself and my money on fire. This would be filled with coffee shops, recovery services, starting a new clothing brand, not your own merch, fitness retreats and camps, and many other things that are appropriate for a brand with a large following that allows them to spin that following over to something new. Think mayhem or proven. That's probably not you, and it definitely wasn't me. Now, back to the decision to move to new markets or new products. How do you make the decision? I think this story might help. When I was in the Navy, I had many jobs, one of which was driving ships. And to drive ships, you have to pass your ship driving test. One of the last things you do is you take an officer of the deck board. You sit in front of all the senior officers in the ship, and they pepper you with all sorts of questions about the ship, about engineering, emergencies, tactics, and ship driving. One of the scenarios I was given is kind of like the Kobayashi Maru if you're a Star Trek nerd.
Don't believe in the no-win scenario.
The scenario is this. You're driving merrily through the ocean, and there are 4 different ships crossing in front of you at different distances and at different speeds. Slowing down and speeding up won't prevent you from crashing in any of these scenarios. Now, the situation was designed to see if you had the wherewithal to know that the best decision was not to go forward. And many people try to come up with fancy maneuvers to try to speed racer their way through to the other side. See, the problem isn't solvable given the variables at hand. They were trying to teach us that sometimes the best decision is not to go. So the right answer was to turn the ship completely around until all the traffic was gone and then continue going on. And this is the same false choice that people are presented with when sitting in quadrant 3, the market penetration spot. That's because you don't actually need to leave the quadrant. You can actually stay right where you are and continue to grow. The reality is that it's highly unlikely that a brick and mortar location has penetrated the market in any sort of serious way. Now, knowing that, it means it's likely that your best option is not to move to new markets or new products. It's to deepen your position and maximize as much market penetration as you possibly can. The things in quadrant 3 look like this: better referral programs, more targeted marketing campaigns, better customer service experience, and things like local partnerships. And if you're like me and many other immature entrepreneurs, you'll misinterpret your options and assume you have to move forward to new things or new markets when your best option is to stay where you are and avoid the chaos that the other paths hold for you. By staying in quadrant 3, the market penetration quadrant, you're choosing better over more. Think quality over volume. Choosing not to move is still a choice, and that choice will likely lead to addressing a larger percentage of your current market with better margins because people pay for better. Every CrossFit affiliate ever has been presented with this dilemma, and without the right framework, most of us will not choose wisely.
You chose poorly.
And this is what we help affiliate owners with every single day. Most of us just need to do better, but don't know how or haven't been exposed to what better actually looks like. You remember when you did your first CrossFit workout? You thought that you knew what fitness was, right up until the point when that tiny mom of 3 smoked you in the workout. And then you knew there was a better way. And if you want help finding a better way, we got your back. We've done it hundreds of times, and we've already made the mistakes ourselves, so you don't have to go bouncing around all through the wrong quadrants only to find out that you could have gotten everything that you were looking for right where you were at. I hope this helps, and I'll talk to you soon.